Hello and welcome to AAU Talks on AAU TV. My name is Bridget Ama Denteh, and today we are discussing the psychological management of COVID-19 on campuses. And with me today is a clinical psychologist and a lecturer at the Department of Psychology at the University of Ghana, Dr. Mabel Oti-Boadi. She has a lot of experience when we talk about issues of psychology and its relation to students. That is why today our topic centers on psychological management of COVID-19 on campus during the COVID-19 era. Please stay tuned. We're going on a quick break. I'll be back shortly. You're welcome back from that short break. As I said earlier, today we are discussing the psychological management of COVID-19 on campuses. And my guest for today is Dr. Mabel Oti-Boadi. She is a clinical psychologist and a lecturer at the Department of Psychology at the University of Ghana. You're welcome, Doc.
It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Doc, coronavirus caught us all unaware. We were there, and all of a sudden we have to be putting on nose masks and using sanitizers. How have you been holding up, Doc?
Yeah, every one of us know that this is a new phenomenon, and most of us didn't expect it coming. But as human beings, whatever happens, we have a way of adapting to that situation. And so I guess all of us have, in one way or the other, come to adapt to what's going on in terms of washing our hands regularly and then putting on face masks and so on. They are new things to us, but I think it's been 3 months and all of us are getting used to the idea, just that a few of us are still not, but it's fine. I mean, we are all trying to do what we've been told to do, that is following the protocols, and that's okay.
Okay. So, Doc, what are universities doing to help students who are struggling with the movement from physical classroom education to online in this era of the pandemic?
Thank you very much. When this whole thing happened, as I said, it came suddenly. The preparation was not much. When it comes to online learning, I think the university had put certain things in place already, but we hadn't been interactive in terms of having lectures and then doing assessments online in University of Ghana. But when the pandemic came in, something had to be done, because otherwise we would have to just break in the semester or end the semester without doing anything. And online learning is not a new thing globally. I mean, it's something that is going on all over the world, emerging in Ghana. And so the university took up the challenge, and now students are enrolled. It's a challenge for most students because it's a new thing. Most of them didn't know that was what was going to happen. So it's new to a lot of them. but I guess up to now, a lot of them are getting used to the idea because um, it's the new thing all over the world, and with COVID-19 around, we don't know when it's going to go away. So we all need to get used to. And then, but I guess they're all holding up little by little. It's not the best of outcomes we expected, but we hope that as we progress, things will be better.
Okay. Doc, there have been issues of students not having access to laptops or internet data, and those who are writing exams online have been complaining a lot. What initiatives have been put in place so that students who are having issues with data can still access their course and the semester can continue running?
Yeah. When it comes to data, when it comes to computer, when it comes to smartphones, smartphone usage is actually on the increase in Ghana. I mean, research talks about it. So you may have just a few students who do not have, as it were, smartphones. But the university made, in the initial stages, the university made some data available to students. I don't know about now, I mean, currently, whether that's still running, but the final years were supposed to come back to school are going to be given access to the internet so that they can do their online classes whilst on campus.
Okay.
So the university has done some in terms of, but those who couldn't get the opportunity because they don't have the smartphones or they don't have data, especially with the final years, that's why they've been asked to come back. Then they are given access to the connection to go online and do their learning. I mean, those issues that are still left, and then they can take the assessment whilst they are in school.
Okay. What would you say would be the psychological impact of COVID-19 on some of these final year students who went home, probably didn't study as much as they would have if they were on campus, and have to come back to school and finish the semester? What psychological impact will that have on them?
Yeah, I mean, for all people and for all students, the psychological impact is huge. And especially for final year students who thought they were going to finish up or complete their school around May. A lot of anxiety was set in because there's so much uncertainty. We don't know what's happening, when this disease is going to go away, when are we writing the exam, when are we doing this, when are we doing that. But you realize that with the university, they try to put in place certain things that would help them in terms of lectures going online to put their materials on the platform and then also do audio recordings for them. So I can say there was some kind of continuation. But those who didn't have, certainly they would be in that state of anxiety because they don't know whether they are going to be able to complete in time and all that. So the impact certainly is great, but I guess for now that they've been allowed to come back, given the connections on campus and all that, I think they can catch up and then they'll be able to, because even when it comes to their thesis or their long essays, they still were in touch with their supervisors online, sending their work in, and then supervisors going through for them. When it came to data collection, those who couldn't, collect data because of the condition, they had to redo certain things, and their supervisors assisted them. So I think it's not that bad. I mean, certainly all of them will go through successfully. And a few who wouldn't be able to will still be given some chance to do it, till they are done. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned anxiety. Aside anxiety, what are some of the stresses that some of the final year students, if not all, or even the whole student body, is bound to face once they return to campus?
I mean, when they come to campus, that is when now, or when
Yeah,
school reopens?
when school
Now,
reopens. Yes.
that is in August.
Yes.
The anxiety will still be on, because unless there's a cure or there's a vaccine, because I mean, people move out, and we are told when you go out, you move out with a disease or the condition. So, lecturers, students, like all of us are anxious, unless you protect yourself well, and you cannot really tell what will happen. So, anxiety, anger, because you're supposed to come back to school given certain things like mask, sanitizers, and all that. And if they are not around, certainly you would be angry because you need to finish your school and so on. And then and loneliness is also another, because now the things we used to do, we are no longer allowed to do them because of the condition. You meet your friends, you're excited, you hug them. Those things will be normal. So I guess lecturers, students, all of us are going to feel a bit lonely when you meet people. You just wave or you just smile and you go. And I think that's not too human. You know, human beings would like to hug each other, like to be there, and so on. So unless, I mean, the universities put certain things in place in terms of counseling students. I know there is this online counseling that they do for students to help them cope with what's going on. So there's a system in place, online counseling for students, so they can assess it and then talk about their issues, what they are going through. And because we are aware of some of the problems students may be facing, we have actually put certain things in place for them, that those who are not able to do it, go through the lesson, those unable to do the assessment, you just give them another opportunity, because they will always tell you that they couldn't do it because of connection, because of COVID-19 and all that. So you're giving them 2-3 opportunities to be able to, if it's an IA, if it's an exam and so on, to be able to do it, so that that would also help them reduce the stress they are going through, because it's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for, especially those who are in the rural areas and all that. So students would be anxious, lecturers would be anxious, everybody around, but everybody is afraid of contracting the condition. But we hope that by August, things would have subsided a bit, and then everybody will know how to take care of him or herself well, and then things will move on. So that's it.
Okay, so you're talking about some of the things that the university has put in place to make students be able to still study when they return, and then the fact that they provide psychological help online. How easily accessible is this to all students? Is it a website that they've been going to so that they can access the help? Because a lot of them have been complaining that it's really difficult and they're anxious. They feel they are not going to graduate with the best grades they kind of thought they would be graduating with.
Yeah, these resources I spoke about are all online. When you log on to the University of Ghana website, you find a counseling service, online counseling service there. You can click on it, and then I have seen it there. So I guess students would also see it. And then I mean, many students would complain that they are not excited about this whole thing. Nobody's excited. We are all not excited. As we always say, we are not in normal times. So as a human being, you have that ability to adapt. That's what I always tell people. So when something happens out of the blue, when you get a new situation, you need to find a way to get around it. The fact that there's COVID-19 doesn't mean you're not going to graduate in the class you want. Once you follow the online lessons we did, once you you did your learning. It may not be the best as you wanted it, but you still would perform well if you really, really want to do so. And many lecturers have stayed in constant touch with their students. In these times, in terms of always communicating with them, what's going on, whichever IA they are going to do, what questions, which parts of the lesson they are going to do, and so on. So they may not necessarily be shortchanged in this time. And I guess if they are really serious students, many of them will go through successfully because we have been in touch with them. I'm not sure of other universities, but for here, I know many of us continuously talk about how we've been in touch with our students and what they are doing, and the fact that they are going to graduate with whatever classes they wanted to. If really they also did their part in the learning and the assessment. So that's fine. They can go online, and sometimes some of them call us, some of them send messages to some of us, and we respond because we are also their lecturers, and some of them may be going through problems. They want to share, they need your advice and so on. So we support some of them too, but if you would want to see the professionals at the counseling center too, then you can go online because now we don't do face-to-face counseling because of COVID-19. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Boadi, that's very insightful. That we are going on a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the fact that some of the postgraduate students have to defend their thesis online and how good or bad it will affect their grades because physical presence is not there. A lot of the gestures, and all of that. And then we would delve into that. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. You're welcome back. So if you just joined the conversation, this is AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. And today we are discussing the psychological management of COVID-19 on campuses. And we have today Dr. Mabel Oti-Boadi. She's a clinical psychologist with the University of Ghana. So you can follow the conversation on Association of African Universities on Facebook and on YouTube. And do well to check out our Instagram and Twitter handles for more information on the program. It's very interesting. Do join the conversation. Dr. Oti, before we went on the break, I indicated that we'll be talking about how postgraduate students will be defending their thesis and how it's going to affect their grades, because we all know that when you are physically present with someone, your gestures, how you're presenting it and everything kind of adds to your thesis and the outcome of the results. How will this affect postgraduate students who are now defending their thesis via Zoom or any other virtual means?
Okay. I'm not sure of, how this would affect them because we already, even before COVID-19, some students do defend on Skype and all that. So you would, in terms of gestures and all that, as I speak on Zoom now, you are seeing me, you're seeing what I'm doing, I'm seeing you and all that. So this is something that is already in place in terms of Skype. I don't know about Zoom, but I've seen students presenting on Skype, or their external supervisors on Skype and so on. So I think now the anxiety would reduce a bit, because the physical presence of the people would actually create some kind of tension for students. So now that they are the comfort of their home or their offices, I think being out there would even be better for them. But some of them, I think, would still think that because they are online and they are not face to face means they are not doing the right thing and all that. But I think we should start moving away from that kind of thinking, because the world has changed and we are far behind as Ghanaians. We haven't gone far in terms of online learning. We haven't done anything at all. So we should start, because certainly this is not the end of, infections. More would be coming. And if we don't put systems in place, we don't start exhibiting or putting our interest in online learning and always would want face-to-face, then we are going to be in trouble. So now this is technology, this would help. You will still be able to defend. And I think that should be the most important thing students should be concerned about. That I still have the opportunity. I can do it on Zoom, I can do it on Skype. And they should be oriented into believing that this is a good alternative. So I think the university is in touch with those final year students who would be doing their presentations on Skype and so on. And then probably the departments would also do some kind of mock for them to get used to, because there could be connection problems and so on. So get a good place, good connection, so that you don't break in when you are having your presentation. And I think that they will be fine. So students should welcome the new normal, that it's not everything or every time that we are going to have face-to-face. And I guess in the short term or in the coming months, when we resume school, we may not have all our classes in face-to-face. Some of them would be online. So we should start accepting this and then do it well. It will take us places, because in the Western world, this is very common. And if you are able to do it here, when you get there, it wouldn't be difficult for you to do. Okay. I think they just need some kind of orientation as to what to do, why it should be so, and then to feel relaxed in doing it, because it's virtually the same thing. I'm seeing you, you are seeing me, and then I give my information and I'm gone. Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so let's talk about students who get infected with COVID-19 while the semester runs. Are there any plans to help them get back on track when they recover from COVID-19?
Yeah. And before the break, I guess you all heard that there was a student who got infected on the University of Ghana campus.
Yes.
And so there is, I think there's a whole clinic or some outlet that has been put in place for persons who contract the condition, and then of the University of Ghana Medical Center too. So as students resume, we cannot tell, but people could get infected, students could get infected, and then there's help on the University of Ghana campus. And then when they are recovered too, that is why the Counseling and Career Center is there to help with the reintegration of these students back into the university in terms of the stigma they are likely to experience from their friends and from their lecturers and so on. So this is a place of higher learning though, but you still get people who would stigmatize. So the education is still on in terms of helping people students who are likely to go through such problems, and then to make their lives comfortable on campus. the university has such systems in place of the counseling center so that they wouldn't feel bad, they wouldn't want to go back home because their mates are not accepting them. We always say that this is not a life sentence. When you get it, you get treated and then you are fine. So I think I'm talking to all students that nobody should be afraid when you come to campus and then you get the condition. That's why we always say that you keep your immune system up. When you're strong and you even get COVID-19, it's not going to kill you. You are just going to go through it like all the others have gone through it. And then with the stigma, campaigns are going on outside the campus, and very soon I know campaigns will go on the campus. Leaflets will be out and all that to educate people. They need not to stigmatize their friends who get the condition, but anybody can get it. So that is why we have psychologists on campus, we have counselors on campus to help out in that. So no student should be afraid. You should all feel free. Then when you have any problems, you approach the authorities and they will. Yeah.
Okay. That was it then about stigma, because I was just about to come to stigma. That notes that even lecturers can get COVID-19 and feel a bit stigmatized, even from students or from their fellow lecturers. So if there are such things in place so that the stigma is not on campus, then I think it's a very great initiative on the part of the University of Ghana. Okay, so now we come to
also let me come in again. I also think that with all of us, lecturers, students, we should all know that we shouldn't accept what we call self-stigma, because people are stigmatized, we accept it on ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we also feel that because I got the condition, I'm not worthy and all that. We should all learn to feel good about ourselves. This thing is like a battle. You have gone to the battlefront, you have fought and you have won. So you should raise your head up. You should be excited that you are out of it and be able to tell people what you went through and what they should do to protect themselves. So I think that is where the education should be. People should not hide themselves. They should be excited that they got the condition, they are out, and now they are sort of heroes and heroines to educate more people. Lecturers, other university staff, students should all have that education that even if I get this, I'm not going to hide from people after I've recovered. I'm going to tell people, well, I got it, but I'm fine. Nothing is wrong with me. And I'm not going to be able to infect others with the condition again and so on. So when we do hide, that is where there would be a problem, because especially in this part of our world where we have many asymptomatic people around, you cannot tell who has it or not. So anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. So nobody, this person had it. You don't know, even as you're talking, you have it. You don't know. So, people should be brave, should be excited that they got the condition, they are out, and then they are moving on with their lives and not succumb to stigma in society. It doesn't help, because if it will put you in so much distress, you can't concentrate on anything. So keep your head up if you've gotten the condition and you're out, and then be bold that you are a champion, Yeah,
you're a champion out of COVID-19 now. Okay, so then let's come to persons with disabilities. They are already a marginalized group, even when COVID-19 wasn't here. What are some of the initiatives or the university has put in place for such people so that they can all come back together as one, even though they might be having some form of a disability?
Okay, so persons with special needs, as you said, they already have issues when it comes to their stay on campus, when it comes to their studies and all that. But there's an office for persons with special needs at the University of Ghana. There's an office for them, and then there are things they have done or they are doing for them in terms of even online classes.
Okay.
how they assess them, because I had an interview from the head of that office talking about what they're doing in terms of the materials that we put online, how they can assess them, and so on. So it's not something that is 100%, but I know they are doing a lot for the blind, for the physically challenged, for the deaf, and so on. So they are doing something for them so that they can also assess the materials we have online, and then they can also take part in the classes and the assessments we are doing. So that office is in place. I don't know what happens with other institutions, but I know there is an office for persons with special needs at the University of Ghana campus, and we are doing all we can to get students get access to the materials we have, and also take part in the assessments and make them feel part of the process. Because, as you said, there were reports that lots of them felt they were no longer part of the process or the system when this whole thing happened. But I think now some of them are getting into it, and then very soon. And like I said, if you are not able to go through all these, there are other chances for you as a student that you can assess. That then after all this, you can have some time to do those assessments you couldn't do and all that, and to be able to fill them up. So persons with special needs should also not feel too bad. That there's always something in place for them. They should go to the office and then find out what is going on. And then any support they need, I think the university would provide that for them. Some of them may not have smartphones and all that. So when they go there, they would know what to do for them. They shouldn't just be in the dark. They should come out and then get the help they need.
Okay. So we're wrapping up here. I'd like to know what self-care strategies, aside the precautionary measures that the government has already come up with, would you share with students while they study from home?
Okay. So once they study from home, I know it's not easy. It's quite difficult because there are certain things they have to do now that they are home, helping their parents, the household chores, taking care of their younger siblings and all that. So it's quite difficult. But students would have to have a certain mindset that things have changed. So what am I going to do to help myself to be a better student? So they should boost their study skills, find new ways of studying. I would say the students of today are very lucky. They have access to the internet. There's more information they can get access to. So if it's an image or it's something you've heard and you haven't seen it before, you can go to the internet and find out what it is, look at an image of it. So they should find ways to boost their study skills, catch up with what they missed. Some of them actually go off for a very long time. You give assignments, give assessments, and they tell you they never heard of it and all. Please come in line. I mean, you have a class platform, WhatsApp platform, whatever. Find out from your friends, what have we done so far? We did assignment. Actually, I had a student who said he hasn't heard with it for about 2 months. So you see, it was off. Nothing. She didn't know anything. She's now telling me to give another assignment. So just catch up. Ask your friends, what is happening? Maybe I was off for a bit. What is happening? What did we do? Can I get in touch with the lecturer? Find out what can be done for me and so on. So just catch up and continue with your studying. Continue. It may not be easy. Now you may not have your study group, but there's something like Zoom, the free one. You can have it. You can still have your friends, 3, 4, 5, 6. You meet on Zoom, you discuss issues, and then you move on. You don't have to give anything to chances as a student. You don't have to play. Now, more than ever, you need to be serious with your studies because nobody standing there tell you to do this or not to do that. And then because of the internet problems, we were advised not to continue with this real-time lectures as in doing Zoom because many students were not able to get into it. So we do recordings, we post it. Make sure that you download all your audio recordings, your slides, you go through them. If you don't understand anything, you get in touch with your friends. If you are still not clear, you can get in touch with your lecturer, or we have chat rooms on the platform and all that we do respond to students' questions. So continue with your studying, and then they should maintain their physical health. Now they are home. Most of them are just eating probably foods that would make them get fat and all that. But they should do more physical exercises that would help maintain their health. Eat right, eat a well-balanced diet, and then build your immune system. Because if you don't have a strong immune system, studies will become difficult for you. Your brain will not function properly, and so on. So they should build their immune system. And then this is a difficult period, like I said, so much anxiety around. So they should manage their mental health. They should find out ways to actually help them concentrate on their studies. Sometimes engage in other activities that will take their minds off that there's a problem. Sometimes you can just learn a new game you haven't had time to do. That is when you have structured yourself well in terms of your timetable, when to learn a new game, when to do something different. But we should all learn to do something different. Sometimes just chat with your friend for a short period. Sometimes just play something, do something, that would make you feel better than always probably sitting by your books. You need to structure yourself, put yourself in some kind of structure, have a timetable, and then keep up your social connections. Now we cannot hug, we cannot shake and so on, but we can still see each other. Like I'm seeing you, I see you smile, I also smile and I feel better. So we can do video calls and all that, talk about the things we used to do in school and all that. I mean, conversations should continue, and then our friendships should continue. That way it would help than always being alone. Loneliness can kill you, even as a student. So, and then procrastination is not the best at this time. It's a thief of time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll download it tomorrow. I'll go online tomorrow, and tomorrow will never come. So they shouldn't procrastinate. They should, once the thing comes to mind that you should work on it, make sure you work on it, and then they can work on their exam anxiety too. Exam anxiety is relevant because it would keep you on your toes. But when it becomes too much, it will immobilize you. Now, most of them are writing exam, or some of them are about to write their exam. Prepare well. When you prepare well, you wouldn't have exam anxiety immobilizing you. You would know what your facts are, and then you will know what to write. You would take a deep breath when you're going to sit by your multiple choice questions, and you'll be ready, and then you can do it. So they should work on all these. All these things would help in these times so that we all come out well. We all want to come out well. We all want to come and meet all our friends, all our roommates, all our classmates, and so on. So if they can go by some of these points, I think we would all meet again, and we'll meet again in the new normal. Every one of us will understand what is going on. If your lecturer doesn't want you to hold her laptop or her bag, it doesn't mean she doesn't like you, or it doesn't means that we are trying to protect ourselves from the risk, the disease out there. So students should prepare well, psych ourselves up. We should believe in what is happening now. That once we put our heads to it, everything will be fine. It may not be the best we all expected, but it has come, and we hear that it has come to stay. So we need to learn to stay with it and then get on with our lives. Yeah. Thank you.
Dr. Brady, before you go on with your final word, Legon is known for large class numbers. When with online studies, how are lecturers able to ensure that, okay, all my students are on board, like all of them are so included, or they are concentrating on what actually is being taught, and they're like the education system is still inclusive? How is that
Okay.
being made sure?
Okay. So, I mean, we have large classes. They are all on the online platform. They've all been enrolled there. So we were asked to put on slides and all other materials for the course, and then do audio recordings attached. And we expect that the expectation was that most students would be able to access these materials. So if any student was not able to do it, then that student will be given some chance when school reopens. Finally, I mean, that's when we all come. So I guess the university has taken all these things into consideration because there are many and because there are connection issues in Ghana, and definitely some people would not be able to take part. So they've put in some modalities that even when a student is not able to take part, when they come back, they will be given the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
And the classes are large, like you said, and we put on multiple choice. They all have to do it at once, and it becomes very difficult. Sometimes the system jams up and so on.
Yes.
But there are remedies. I mean, we put in, sometimes we give them more than one attempt, more than one submission. Sometimes we do it over a 2-day period, something that would, I mean, lessen the stress a bit for them so that they can actually go through. If you are not able to do it today, you can do it tomorrow. And then the time, we extend the time. And then the questions are not the same. We randomize them all the time. So it may not be like they have the same questions throughout. So we are doing all we can as an institution and also as lecturers in this institution to make sure that students are comfortable. Sometimes you may get certain students who may come up with all kinds of excuses, we are students. But for now, in this time, we trying to be a bit accommodating so that anything that comes up. But once I think we resume, everything gets in place, we may do some face-to-face. I'm not sure how they are going to do that now, but we may, and then we actually will do some online classes too. And by then, I think we'll know what to do when it comes to data, when it comes to connection, because once a student knows that this is now my way of learning, then I think every student would have to get a smartphone, and then whatever is needed to make sure that your classes are smooth. Because I'm not sure we are going to be able to have those big classes and the spacing we are required to do, because for a class, sometimes you have about 400 students in a class, and then the students are so close to each other, and I don't know how they are going to space out and all that. So I think the university is working on all these, getting us more lecture halls, and then we'll see what we'll do. But for now, I don't know how we are going to do the spacing, because our classes are very large, like you said, and we cannot keep that 2 meters or 1 meter space. It means that we are going to run that particular class for about 3-4 times in a day, and it's a big challenge for lecturers. So we may have to now, and I think the university has stated that the online learning has become a part of our learning in the university now. So all students should take that, and then know that once you are online on this platform, it helps you, because there are other courses you can take outside this university, in other universities that are also have courses online, like Coursera and all that are free. You can get diplomas, and all that for free. So I think this is a good thing, and students should want to accept the lecturers it's not easy changing over. Change is difficult for a lot of people. But I've had some experience with online learning in my past institution, so it's not difficult for me. But I guess with time, people would come to accept it, create more time for lecturers to do their own research, and then students will also have more time to do their private learning. So I think that's fine.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And then my final question is, come September, people from senior high school will graduate and then they'll be looking forward to entering the university. Will the university still welcome freshmen, looking at the pandemic and how everything is going on
Okay. I may not have a direct answer for you
now?
now,
Okay.
but like I said, the university is putting in structures like this online platform, making it better and all that. So new students coming in would be able to, be part of the system. So I'm not sure the university is going to kick out students. They would welcome them certainly, and then putting structures in place to accept them, and then do well on making the online system better, so that it's not all the time that students would have to be in the face-to-face class. Students can be wherever they are and still feel part of the institution, still feel part of the class. They would have audios, will have videos, and so on. So students should go in, write their exam, and feel confident that they will still be able to find or get admissions into the universities, because the universities are working hard to ensure that every student who gets qualified would be able to come to the university.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Oti-Boadi. It's
You're
been
welcome.
a pleasure hosting you this morning. Thank you very much. That's
You're welcome.
all for AAU Talks on AAU TV. We have discussed managing psychological issues that COVID-19 presents on campus with Dr. Oti-Boadi. She's a clinical psychologist with the University of Ghana, and it's been very, in-depth. She has told us a lot. So students out there, please, let's stick to our books. Let's take care of ourselves, and everything will be all right. With the anxiety levels, you can still go to the University of Ghana website and you can still access great counseling the way you used to access counseling while you were on campus. That's all for AAU Talks today. Thank you very much for staying tuned. My name is Bridget Ama Denteh.